Hey, what's going on, guys? Clutch here. Today we're going to be talking about the all-new GPS slash heading lock mode that's coming in Farming Simulator 25. I'm super excited to see this mode, especially for our console players, since they've never had this as an option before. Of course, PC players, you've had some various different programs you could run that would emulate some kind of a GPS. There was the GPS mod, of course, by Wobster. In the previous game, of course, we also had Courseplay, you had Auto Drive, that kind of stuff. The new mode that we have in Farming Simulator 25, it doesn't completely replace all of those. We're going to dive into that. And just a quick disclaimer, of course, don't forget this is just a preview build of Farming Sim 25. The actual end product GPS, I've already been told has been updated, and this is something that's currently being worked on going into the final days before release. So there may be some changes before launch. Just be aware of that. So guys, we just got back from a preview for Farming Simulator 25 event held by Giants down in Racine, Wisconsin, where we had a chance to get our little mitts on to Farming Simulator 25 for about an hour and a bit. And we had a chance to mess with this brand new mode, finally coming to Farming Simulator 25. Now, I'm not going to call it a GPS per se, because it's not quite what a GPS would do in a lot of ways. It's not a heading lock either, even though I may describe it as that. It's kind of both. Now, it's a system that allows both yourself to operate your equipment as well as your AI assistants to operate the equipment in the same fashion, somewhat. So what exactly are the benefits of having a GPS or that heading lock, like I said, in Farming Simulator? Well, guys, it allows you, number one, to do headlands the whole way around. It'll lock your workers into a headland so it can do multiple headlands around your field, or yourself, it'll allow it to, so the tractor will auto steer around the headlands of the field for you or your end rows, and you don't have to necessarily worry about it. It gives you more space, of course, and then you don't necessarily have to do that work. Instead of just going back and forth down the same line the whole way down, you do your headlands first, and then you work into your middle potentially. It'd be nice if you could do it the other way around as well, which sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't with some of the mods that are out there currently, at least. The other thing it will allow you to do, guys, is it'll allow you to skip rows, which is fairly popular when you're doing some tillage work. But what I'm really hoping the skip lines will maybe allow us to do is have multiple like combines or planters or whatever it may be on the same field at the same time and leapfrogging each other, kind of what Courseplay allows us to do. I'm hoping that we are able to get that functionality out of this new GPS AI system. So what exactly does this all new system in Farming Simulator 25 accomplish? Well, let's take a quick look at it. One thing, of course, I was concerned about was the fact that console players, how do you activate it? Typically, there's so many features or so many extra options in like Courseplay, for example, that console players would be very difficult. It would be very difficult in order to make it all work. However, this is kind of a dumbed down version of that so that it allows Courseplay-esque kind of controls to be used on console. So typically when you hit the B button on your controller, or I don't know what does a circle on PlayStation, it will hire a worker. Well, now you have two different options with that. A quick push could potentially just hire a worker or engage guidance, or if you hold it, it will bring up the menu. So let's take a look at the menu itself. Now, like I said, we only had a short amount of time with this. We have not figured all the ins and outs 100%, but it's a good idea so you can take a look at what you're going to be able to get into on release date. So this menu is after we've held the B button down on our controller, it's popped up, and you can see right off the bat, we're on the AI worker mode right now. So this is our hired help mode. We have a working width of 7 meters. It's auto-populated that. It's based on the equipment we're using. You can, of course, change that. Number of headlands, it's set to 3 as the auto. You can dumb that down to, I believe, 1, or you can go all the way up to, I think it was 7 is the max that goes up to. Saying if we want to work our headlands, you can turn that on or off. And then you have your skip lines as well. I didn't have a chance to mess a lot with the skip lines. Obviously, as of yet, we're still fairly new onto this part, guys. Now we've moved our mode over to our steering assist, which would be when we're operating the equipment. However, we're allowing a GPS sort of to control it or at least steer it. So we have our working width once again, a number of headlands once again set to 3 by that's our standard size. Our work directions, guys, this will change kind of the angle in which the center portions of the fields are done. We have our side offset, so if we want to shift everything over, we can change that. And then show lines if we want to see the lines in game. So we set this up in game. You can see we have the lines now that are shown throughout the field. And I have not even activated yet. You can see in the very bottom right-hand corner of our HUD, it just says ready. It's not activated. You can also tell by the fact that the line in front of us here, guys, is yellow. If it was green, that would be on. Right now it's yellow. Now it's gone to green. It's active. I've turned it on. Now we know it's active. Now the interesting thing, when you run the GPS on the headlands, you don't spin around automatically. It's going to send you straight off. You have to go and disengage the tool, spin the equipment around. And now you're going to see, once we get back in line here, it's going to go from, well, it'll be yellow saying it's ready almost. And then as soon as we activate it, it'll turn green saying, yeah, we're back on driving assist. And there we go. As soon as you see that line go green, it knows where you're going. And I've had to hit the button, of course, to activate it though. Just be aware of that. It's not going to take the corner, those 90-degree corners for us at this point. Now here we are just demonstrating the actual steering assist. Once it starts being able to steer for us, you can see in the bottom right, it's going to change over to what steering assist is basically. So it just kind of follows the pathing system around the corners for us. We're not steering, it's doing this for us, which is fantastic. And will make things a little bit easier potentially, but you still have to pay attention, because when you get to the end of the row, you still need to spin this thing around. Now let's talk about our AI assistants, our workers, guys, because that's definitely changed a little bit. And to be perfectly honest, guys, I'm not 100% sure on the ins and outs of it yet. It's going to take some more testing. We just didn't have the time. Now, our old way of doing this, we'd simply hit our hire worker button, and wherever you were, if you were in the middle of that field, halfway through, working the first row, didn't matter. Whatever you were doing, that worker would obviously just take off and continue doing that work. Now, things have changed a little bit. It seems like they acknowledge what's going on around them in that field. So if there is a part that's been missed, for example, on one of your headlands, it's going to go and try and get that done. Also, they tend to work from the middle out, if that makes any sense. I've had a couple occasions where I tried to hire a worker and they went out into the middle of the field, stopped what they were doing where I was working them, and they just decided to go, well, you know, we're not going to do what you're doing anymore. We're going to go in the middle of the field and start from there. And to be honest, it caught me off guard a little bit, because I'm so used to, of course, what we usually get with our workers, right? So just be aware that our workers might be a little bit different. It seems like we can somewhat create paths for them. I'm just not sure yet if we can start them on the path in a certain area or not yet. That's something we didn't have enough chance to test and work out. So they are aware, like I said, though, that the field itself is missing spots that can go and get done. So if I missed one part of a row, it'll go back and take care of that at some point in time and make sure that it gets all the crops off the field, which is interesting. So it is managing to know what the field status is throughout the whole field, not just what it's doing right at that moment. Very cool. So there you have it, guys. That's the quick and dirty on GPS / heading lock for Farming Simulator 25 right now. This may change, like I said. I'm hoping we'll get a little bit better idea on how the workers react. Something I'm still trying to figure out. I do like the way the heading lock works for us. I would like to be able to make it so we'll just do maybe the end rows instead of the whole headland somehow. I don't know if there's a way we can get that to work. There's got to be a way I could make that work, I would think. But I'm just really happy to see this for all platforms. This is one of the big features I'm glad has finally made it to Farming Simulator 25 for everybody. So if you want to see more on Farming Simulator 25, of course, get subscribed to the channel, drop a like. And of course, guys, if you are looking to pick up Farming Simulator 25, you're planning on picking it up, make sure you get your pre-order on so you get the Mac Dawn pack on day of release, because that's the only way you're going to be able to swath on launch. Check that out over on actually our previous video. If you want to see more footage from the preview we had down in Wisconsin, click on the card and you can go watch that video, which was posted just before this one. Anyways, guys, thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one. This is Clutch. Going to bed. Over and out.